afternoon, everyone, and welcome to an abbreviated version of Live at 4:37.
Hope you enjoy the soccer, the football, as they say.
Yes, as they say. Let's some severe weather in the area. Let's go right out to Julian C. right in the backyard.
That's right. We did have some severe thunderstorm warnings that were in effect for northern areas of Adams and Juneau County. This is still going to be in effect for us until 4:45 p.m. this evening. As we can see, those storms are still continuing to push their way forward. Now, as we take a look, this is a part of a cluster of storms that's mainly into the central and northern areas of Wisconsin that we've been keeping an eye on. Again, this is just one of the few rounds that we're going to be expecting in terms of severe weather for us. As we take a look over towards what we're seeing for our severe weather outlook, slight risk for areas to the west and marginal risk for severe thunderstorm warnings are going to be in effect for many of us here in southern Wisconsin throughout the next couple of days. Now, again, we have the alert day in effect for tonight and for Wednesday as well. We'll talk more about this coming up in a few moments. Until then, back to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. A massive manhunt is underway for a suspect following a shooting at a Brooklyn subway station at the height of rush hour.
You are looking at the aftermath of the shooting. After the train pulls into the station, people rush off the cars trying to get to safety. One person hobbles off as it appears a part of their leg is injured. Smoke pours out of the car as people try to ascertain what has just happened.
At least 10 people were shot, 28 are hospitalized, 5 of them are in critical condition. Elise Preston reports from New York.
Terrified commuters poured out of a New York City subway train as it pulled into this Brooklyn station, moments after a gunman set off a smoke canister inside.
He then opened fire, striking multiple people on the subway and in the platform.
Police say a male suspect who was last seen wearing a green construction vest and a gas mask hit several people before getting away.
They had no caring about the individuals that they assaulted as they simply went about their daily lives.
This 15-year-old was on the train headed to school.
I didn't know what to do. I just got off the train. I stayed by some police officers.
John Ramsey, who lives in the neighborhood, saw people fleeing the station, some of them injured.
I'm mystified as to who would want to, hit this area.
Residents here in New York City have seen a rise in gun violence and overall crime during the pandemic. Good Samaritans sprung into action to help those who were hurt.
We saw New Yorkers in a difficult situation, an emergency, helping each other. That's the subway riders. That's who New Yorkers are.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who's working from home after testing positive for COVID, released a video statement.
We would not allow New Yorkers to be terrorized, even by a single individual.
A law enforcement official tells CBS News authorities have not ruled out terrorism as a motive as they search for the suspect. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
A Republican candidate for state attorney general wants most of the people who sit on the state's election board removed for cause.
Fond du Lac County District Attorney Eric Toney says Wisconsin elections commissioners issued illegal guidance and should be prosecuted.
Our political reporter Will Keneally explains what all this means. Will?
That's right. Eric Toney held a press conference on this matter at the state capitol this morning. During that press conference, Toney admitted he had limited authority to go after members of the Wisconsin Elections Commission. Charges of misconduct in office have to be brought by the DAs in the counties where the commissioners live.
Fond du Lac County does not have venue, and so being that we don't have venue, I still believe it's important and crucial that those board members be held accountable through whatever means are available.
Prosecute after a set period of time. This stems from concerns over the guidance that the Wisconsin Elections Commission issued over special voting deputies who help people living in nursing homes vote. All but Commissioner Bob Spindell approved the pandemic-era guidance. Toney is not pushing to prosecute Spindell. Governor Tony Evers' office did not respond to comment on whether they would consider removing those commissioners, but that move is unlikely. Toney faces former state representative Adam Jarko in the August Republican primary for AG, and the winner will face Democrat Josh Call in November.
Well, thank you. The Dane County Sheriff says a new program at the jail will help those fighting opioid addiction. The Medication Assistance Treatment Program will allow the jail's nurses to administer the prescription drug Subutex to those who were already being treated with the medication before they entered the jail. Previously, this option was unavailable, which would result in an interruption to an individual's recovery.
Our ultimate goal is to reduce recidivism. When we reduce recidivism, we reduce the jail population. By reducing the jail population, we decrease the crime rates. By decreasing the crime rates, we increase public safety, and we reduced criminal justice budgets.
Sheriff Barrett said the program could expand beyond continuing care in the future. In the past, the jail has not been able to continue the treatments inside the jail, leading to an interruption in recovery. The U.S. says it is investigating reports that Russia used chemical agents in the city of Mariupol. President Biden held a secure call with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson today, who recently visited Ukraine, reaffirming the two countries' commitment to stand with the Ukrainian people. Ukrainian officials say at least 10,000 civilians have been killed in Mariupol since the invasion began, and the city continues to be under siege.
It's obvious that the Russians want Mariupol because of its strategic location. It would provide them unfettered and unhindered land access between the Donbass and Crimea.
Today, Russian President Vladimir Putin lashed out at Western sanctions, warning that his country will not be isolated. He also said his military operations will continue in Ukraine until he meets his goals.
Stocks were sent lower again today on inflation numbers. The Dow Industrials fell 87 points, ending the day at 34,220. The NASDAQ was off 40. The S&P 500 was down 15, and we'll be right back.
What can I do with less asthma? With Dupixent, I can do more. Crazy commutes, crowd control. Have a nice day, Alex. Thanks, Stella. Taking the stairs, that's how you do more with Dupixent, which helps prevent asthma attacks. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma that can improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. I can reduce or even eliminate oral steroids. And here's something important. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Are you ready to do more with less asthma? Just ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
In the military, we call it dereliction of duty. Ron Johnson is supposed to serve Wisconsin. Instead, he served himself. An investigation found Ron Johnson pushed through a special tax loophole that benefited his own family's business. Then he cashed out of the company for $5 million. Ron Johnson has doubled his wealth since taking office. That's a dereliction of duty. Tell Ron Johnson to stop passing tax laws that benefit himself.
Andrew Larson here, owner of Larson Home Services. My team is fired up. We've discovered a new replacement gutter system that sets the standard for performance, durability, and beauty. It's called Gutter Shutter, and it's guaranteed to never clog, sag, or pull away. It's 100% made in the USA. We'll show you why Gutter Shutter means you can stay off the ladder forever. Right now, get 75% off installation labor, free financing for 24 months, and a $100 Visa gift card with your new Gutter Shutter system. Call now to set up your free estimate.
Take a look at this. You can see 95-year-old Ivor Button strapped on top of this biplane in England as it takes off into the sky. With this flight, he becomes the oldest person to ever wing walk, breaking the previous record of 93 years old. Wing walking is the act of standing or walking on a wing while the plane's in the air. This aviation enthusiast may be elderly, but he's clearly young at heart.
Wow, and brave.
And brave. We'll be right back.
Do you suffer with pain, numbness, and tingling in the hands or feet, commonly diagnosed as peripheral neuropathy? Are you taking drugs such as Lyrica or gabapentin that have serious side effects and often do not relieve your symptoms? Your doctor has told you you may just have to live with the pain. Peripheral neuropathy is a result of damage to the nerves, often causing burning, weakness, pain, numbness, tingling, and the most debilitating balance problems. Our facility uses multiple therapies therapeutic methods to help give you relief from neuropathy symptoms with no injections and no drugs. You may start seeing relief after only a few sessions. To determine if your neuropathy symptoms can be relieved, we will do a consultation to evaluate the extent of your condition. Call us today to schedule your neuropathy consultation to find out if you're a candidate for our therapy. Call today.
Spring is in the air. The birds are back. The days are warmer and spring blossoms are starting to pop. Beautiful, colorful, delicate flowers. This spring, let the outdoor living experts at the Bruce Company help you bring this season to life. Colorful plants, stylish garden art, and the latest trends in outdoor furniture. The Bruce Company has everything you need to start your spring off right. So what's your dream this spring? Find it at the Bruce Company on Parmenter Street in Middleton. Your outdoor living experts.
In the military, we call it dereliction of duty. Ron Johnson is supposed to serve Wisconsin. Instead, he served himself. An investigation found Ron Johnson pushed through a special tax loophole that benefited his own family's business. Then he cashed out of the company for $5 million. Ron Johnson has doubled his wealth since taking office. That's a dereliction of duty. Tell Ron Johnson to stop passing tax laws that benefit himself.
Welcome back, and we're going to get right into things. As of right now, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that has been extended for northern Adams County. As of right now, we are looking at winds that have been reported to be 60 to even 70 miles per hour with the storms that are rolling into and from Adams County as of right now. Hail size has been reported from the public to be about an inch in diameter as well. So we can see continuing that storm is starting to continue to push its way across Adams County as of right now. And this storm is coming in from a cluster of storms which was impacting from La Crosse, and it stretched its way just across the northern areas of the Dells into northern Adams and Juneau County over the past couple of hours. But as we see, it's a fast-moving storm. Winds with it as well are onto the stronger side. Again, they have been reported to be 60 to 70 miles per hour. That just goes to show you how strong these winds are with the system that is moving itself across northern Adams County as of right now, with that extension until 5 p.m. In addition, once again, for our severe weather outlook for us here in southern Wisconsin, areas just west of Dane County are within a slight risk for us to see severe storms going into the rest of this evening and for tonight. And furthermore, going into our Wednesday, we also have a severe weather risk. Mainly a slight risk is just east of Dane County. For us, we're now looking at a marginal risk for seeing severe storms. So we could still see some thunderstorms for tomorrow, and some of them will be on the severe side, but it's going to be on the minimal side for us here in Dane County, whereas over towards Milwaukee area into the southeast corridor is where we're going to be looking at a better risk for seeing stronger storms. Now, as we take a look at just timing out everything else as of right now, this is going to be our first round of seeing some storms throughout the area, especially for central southern Wisconsin. Now, as we go into tonight, that's where we're looking at more storms, more stronger and severe storms to start to roll in for us as we get into the later part of tonight and into the overnight hours. So again, it is imperative, since this is going to be around the time that we're all going to bed and getting ready for the next day, that you have your alerts ready for you, whether it's your cell phone, your weather radio, or even the weather app. Make sure that everything is charged and ready to go. So in case these storms start to pop up for you, you can be able to receive your alerts and your warnings throughout the overnight hours. As we transition into our Wednesday morning around the 7 a.m. commutes, we're looking for things to die down just a bit. Not looking for too much more in terms of storms, but then into the later part of the morning going into our afternoon, we're looking at another round of some storms coming in from the south that'll be stretching in across Wisconsin. Now, in terms of precipitation, we are looking for some good amounts, mainly for areas near the La Crosse and northern and central Wisconsin. However, for us in Dane County, could be seeing about a quarter to even a half an inch of rainfall for us. But again, our alert day is from tonight into Wednesday for severe thunderstorms to be our possibility for us. High winds and hail are the primary threats with any of these storms that are going to be coming through, and some isolated tornadoes cannot be ruled out from any of these storms either. Now, as we take a look, here's the bottom line. Once again, just make sure that you're prepared for your severe weather. Make sure your severe weather plan is ready to go as well. As we wrap things up with our 10-day forecast, after tomorrow, we're looking for a much more quieter end to our week and for our weekend. As temperatures are going to be back into the cooler side, those 40s are going to be back and plenty of sunshine. You know, we do have some chances of seeing some showers in our forecast. Not a whole lot more of precipitation is in our forecast for us over the next few days. Again, we're just going to get through tonight and for tomorrow, and then we're looking for some smooth sailing. Back to you guys on the couch.
All right, keep an eye on things. Still to come at 4, COVID cases are on the rise again. Is there a reason for concern?
We'll find out next as UW Health's Dr. Jeff Potoff will join us as Live at 4 continues. We'll be right back.
How do you use your energy? Fueling your drive to deliver hope for neighbors in need? At Alliant Energy, we're creating more clean, renewable energy every single day to power what matters to you. Alliant Energy, powering beyond.
Things were really starting to turn worse for my mom. They basically said, that's all we can do.
Right to try is hope when there is no hope.
We had done research on the Zysami. Apparently it was still in stage 3 clinical trials.
She couldn't have that medication unless it was for the Right to Try Act and Senator Johnson's work.
This is 3 days after the treatment, and you can see the difference. You know, without the efforts of Senator Johnson, my mom wouldn't be here today.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
While hospitalizations continue to drop, 26 states, including Wisconsin, are now reporting an increase in new COVID infections.
Philadelphia has become the first major city in the country to bring back its indoor mask mandate.
With the highly infectious BA2 variant, many are wondering, will it happen here? UW Health's Chief Quality Officer, Dr. Jeff Potoff, here for his weekly visit. Welcome back. How concerned are we about this?
I don't have a lot of concern yet. I think, you know, in Philadelphia, their cases are up 50%. Certainly, there's no harm in instituting a mask mandate. It'll reduce transmission. What we don't know is, you know, with our current state of vaccination and boosters, and a lot of people recently recovering from COVID, even if we have this more highly contagious variant, will that mean more cases of mild disease, or will that actually translate into increased hospitalization? We don't know that yet, but I think Philadelphia is being cautious.
And that's the number you look at, hospitalizations.
That's the most important metric,
I think
right?
That's the most important metric. If we have mild symptoms, we're out of work, that's not great, but it's not as bad as hospitals filling up, people not being able to get to hospitals for other healthcare needs. That would be the thing that would really, you know, indicate that we need to bring back mask mandates and distancing and things like that.
What is going on in the Northeast? Philadelphia, the mayor of New York City just tested positive. More than a dozen lawmakers in Washington, D.C. were positive. What's happening in that part of the country?
I think it's a couple of things. One, BA2 must have just started there a little bit more intensely, and then it's a part of the country where the population is pretty densely packed, and the closer people are together, the easier it is for this to spread. So whether you see it in the Northeast during some of the pandemic versus sometimes we saw it in LA, California, we do seem to see this happen more quickly in those areas that are densely populated.
A new poll was released today that shows that the majority of Americans believe COVID is no longer a crisis. Yeah. And they're going about their daily lives.
That we're just going to be living with it, like the flu or anything else.
You know, I sure hope it's not a crisis anymore. We will be living with it, and hopefully, and we'll find out in the next couple weeks, you know, will we make it through the BA surge with just cases, but not hospitalization? And if that's the case, that could kind of foretell what the future might be, where we have periods of time where cases are up. For those who are susceptible, that's something to pay attention to. For the rest of us, you know, if we've taken the appropriate steps, we kind of get through it. Maybe we get some mild symptoms, maybe we don't.
So if you're concerned, still wear a mask and distance yourself.
Absolutely. If you're high risk or COVID would kind of really mess things up for you, wearing a mask is certainly not a bad idea. If you want to prevent things from getting worse, just make sure you're boosted from your vaccination. That's a good way to prevent severe disease. It works really well, and then we don't have to worry about, you know, mask mandates coming back and stuff like that.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Doctor, thanks for hanging with us today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Glad we got to see you.
We'll be right back.